Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, and the seekers and sojourners of truth. The 144, chosen of the chosen few, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Right? Greet you all in love. Back for a round two because there was some more juice, but I had to break it up. So this as I return, for those who haven't seen the first one, I am Akila Textry, reporting to you live from the divine energy essence of it all, and also from the 5D consciousness. Let's get into this fifth dimensional talk right here. As usual, I'm reporting to you with the news to infuse with if you so choose. So let's go on and infuse with this light. Let me choose to infuse with this light, this D light, right? And this is really going in about the fears. I'm on the solar eclipse, total solar eclipse. And what I want to talk about is the fears. What I want us to look at is the fears. I'm hearing so many fears. Someone just wrote me, I believe it was yesterday, about some fears that I've heard about the fears, but um, I guess not to that degree, and seeing how much people are holding fears in their minds about this solar eclipse. It's like the end of the world or a doomsday for them. Hello, doomsday was that pandemic that they called. That was doomsday. Right now, this is and I guess it depends on how you look at it. It could be doomsday for some people that's going through some things. That's how I was looking at it when I first heard it. I was like, well, yeah, it's going to be doomsday for those people that don't want to do the work, that are having a hard time um, removing some things and transmuting some things out of their souls. The least work, the ones who are doing bare minimum soul work, it could be like doomsday. However, it's a real live fear for people on a physical, mental, emotional level of doom. Um, so what I'm told is due to the path of totality of, the path where people are going to see this. A lot of crowds are drawing to those areas. The fear that I was hearing was, I don't know which states this is happening in, but I've heard this from someone in New York. So apparently, there's going to be schools closed. There's going to be prisons. The security level on the prisons are going up. In some places, I've heard that they may be deploying some National Guards or things like that. And so they have people really in fear. We have to move away from this fear. This is why I tell people turn off the news. I don't watch the news. I don't know what's going on unless something is really popping up heavy in my feed line, or someone DMs me or messages me and tells me. I do not watch the news, not even for the weather, right? If I want to know the weather, I go outside and I feel it. I feel the air. I'm like, oh, it's gonna rain, or I don't go on the news. So I say that to say this: we really have to minimize the fear mongering. The news is like a lethal dose of fear. Lethal. I want us to get that. A lethal dose of fear. We must be mindful of that they're going to throw things at you and they're going to use keywords and things like that. So the fear that people have, which feels real, because it's false evidence appearing real. Opportune word is false. The operative word is false, not opportune. Operative word is false. And I've said this before. Whenever you do the word fear, put on all caps false. Write that first. False ear. False ear. It is a false ear. It is false information in your ear that is appearing real. Evidence that is put before you that is appearing real to you. So it becomes a reality, right? So it is perception. It is definitely perception based. And if you're in a mind state of lack, in a mind state of fear with fear based thoughts, and people are pouring in more fear, seasoning it up with more fear, then you're going to be first of all, it's an attack to your root chakra, and you're going to be in survival mode. Fear is the number one block of the root. So it is a low blow to your root chakra. First and foremost, know that. And you're not thinking clearly with that, right? So there's all of this fear being poured into you. And let's dissect that. Let's think about that, because this is what I have to say to those who are thinking about these fears. Or if you know someone with that, share this with them, or just share the information I'm giving you, however you choose to look at it. But what they must understand, nobody don't have to, but what should be looked at and viewed is everything of what's going on, right? If they're all, let me make this, let's take the fear out of this by implementing truth. I always say that love lights the truth. Love is the opposite of fear. And before I say anything further, this is what I told the person. This is what I said. The only way to help them is for them to see love instead of fear-based thoughts and feelings, because only love counteracts the fear. And then that, if they transmute that fear, then that transmutation will change their perception, right? And they will no longer be in a mindset of fear that is looking at danger, looking at it in a form of danger, but love has to be implemented. So it's the love that lights the truth. So therefore, let us take the truth and implement that. What is the truth of what's happening? There is a solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse that happens very rare. And so there's a whole path where it can be seen, the path of totality where it can be seen. And people are flocking to those cities to see it. It's a heavy flow in some areas, in some small town areas. So they want to have coverage. So it's like when there's a voting day and they close the schools so people could go vote in the schools. It's something like that. This is a day where there's a lot going on, so they're closing the schools, maybe possibly because a lot of people are going to be taking their kids out of school, maybe because people are going to be parked in certain areas that maybe blocking schools. Whatever their reasons, it is due to the flow, the heavy flow, the heavy traffic in these small town areas. It is so big. They're expecting, I've seen where there are businesses bringing in so many things because they're expecting so many people. It's like a big show for them, right? So it's kind of like they're preparing for some spring breakers to come through. Kind of look at it like that. How they have extra police in those areas, so they deploy the police department. It's like that. So when you hear them saying they're deploying um, National Guard, it's not because the world is coming to an end. It's simply to have enough staff to cover the amount of people that will be in that area, right? Not that I think they should go through all that either way, but simply that's what it's about, right? If they're upping the security level in the prisons, think about the reasons they may be doing that as well. If they are deploying certain people, they're probably reassigning certain police officers to these areas who would normally be in the prison. So now they don't have enough manpower in the prison. So they have to go on a little higher security alert to cover it. That's one of the possible reasons. I'm not saying that is the reason, but think about what the effects are of all of this, why they would be doing that. Not only that, they may be upping the prison security just because they simply know that things like this affect people emotionally. So there may be more high emotional not alert, emotional alert, right? Some people may be more highly emotional, which means it could trigger some people, trigger some of the inmates, possible high tension, possible higher possibilities of having fights, possible they may have higher watch because of possible irritation in the public. So higher tension, people may be more inclined to fight, kill, accidents happen, things like this. Energies do affect people, and this is a big, massive energy that's also causing a lot of movement going on because it's going to be a lot of people going to these areas. So there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of clustered up in those areas, So when you look at it like that, it's not the world coming to an end. This is the truth of paying attention to what's happening. So if you know someone who's in fear, just share this with them. Share this information. You do not have to share the video. If you do, even better, because if you like, subscribe, share, and comment, it helps get this out to more people who may need to tap in and know that you're not alone on this journey as we cross into the 5D. But this is really and this is to show us where we are in our fears, right? As I say, 5D, it's to help us even see, look, if you are in fear, the question is, why are you in this great deal of fear? It shows that you are riddled with fear and you haven't transmuted anything. Let me not say anything, but you're not doing any transmuting of fears, which means you're holding on to your fears, which means your energy is going to be frictional with the energy that is coming in, right? The light, the frequencies, and all the information that's coming in with this, with what this eclipse has to offer. As I've said in another video, there's so much of what this eclipse is bringing, from the lunar eclipse to the solar eclipse, from the full moon in Libra eclipse that was bringing us out of the we, the complexity of the we, allowing us to find the me in the we. And if we had done our work, that's actually where we were supposed to be doing our transmuting. If you had transmuted your fears accordingly, right, and extracted what you needed to extract for the social dynamic, and coming from the we into the me in a healthy form, then you extract that and bring that into the me, right? The new moon is all about the me, right? But not in a selfish way, because if we have extracted what we needed to do out of that concept of the we, it gives you a different perspective in understanding the me in the we, and with a spiritual maturity and being able to stand in your sovereignty. And so instead of being in fear, you are in your authentic self. These are just the lessons, that we're learning, those of us who are transitioning over into 5D, right? So if you are in fear, it's like, what are you doing? What have you been doing that has caused you to move and be riddled with so much fear? It shows to the degree of how many have not been doing their work. If you come across people who are in their fear, or if you come across this and you found that you've had these fears, I mean, just be honest with yourself. It's no judgment. I'm not saying it in an accusing way. I'm being truthful about the energies and how it shows up in us. And so if you found that yourself has had some fear, you yourself has had some fear, then you might want to do a deeper look, an introspective look. Because the moon, whenever we work with the moon, it gives us a chance to take an introspective look. If you haven't done it already, it's not too late. Look at what the full moon has brought you and take an introspective look at your inner world, being coming from the south node in Libra, and showing you where within the we, how do you show up in those social dynamics of the we, in whatever the situation is. Just take a look at that. And when you transmute any of that, it helps lighten the load. It'll help you mesh better. It'll help even remove any of those fears that may be there, unconsciously, subconsciously, or outright consciously on the surface. Like, some people are really riddled in those fears. So I would say, ask yourself, what is it I fear? What is it to thee? What is it to me? What is there behind me that I did not look at? Utilize it, work that energy, and bring it forward. You will see, if you start to transmute whatever has been coming up for you in the past week or two, or just maybe in the past 6 months, 30 days, because the moon is reflective in that way, right? See what it is that has come up for you and work with it, transmute it. I guarantee you, the more you transmute that fear, which is to work through the fear, to bring it up into love, to wash it over into love, to remove the false evidence appearing real by implementing the truths of who you are, by trusting the process in your roots, right? By gaining a true sense of putting your feelings in a true perspective in your sacral, right? And gaining a sense of your soul's purpose in your I am, knowing who you really are in your I am, being empowered by who you are in your I am, and then being able to bring that up into your heart by what you love and accept about yourself and others. This is where we integrate the we, the me, into the we. And as we're doing now, coming from the South Node, integrating, taking from the we, bringing it into the me, so that we bring our higher self of me with a clear conscience with compassion for the collective, right? Not being fearful of the collective, but having a passion, a compassion. Come with passion for the collective as you see you one with the collective, the Huna, the one in the many, but being able to see the true you that does not get influenced by the many. See, this is where we're seeing the test right here. We should not be influenced by the outer extremities, right? By these fear mongering tactics. Allow them to say what they're saying, but do not be influenced. That's being in your sovereignty and not allowing that to shake you, right? That is taking the me out of the we concept. You're holding on to the sovereignty of yourself, not allowing yourself to be influenced or feeling a need of approval or validation, but still being able to respect others' views, right? There's the balance and there's the harmony right there. And for others, it's coming out of the selfish aspect of just thinking about self and being able to embrace the views of others, embrace where they are, right? They may be scared, they may be different. Okay, right? The only thing you can do is impart truth, shine your light, be in your truth. We don't have to debate with anyone, just be in your truth. Let them know, hey, it's okay. This is why this is happening. They can either see it or not. And if not, hey, have a beautiful day. I'm going to go and enjoy this solar eclipse, whether I see it whether I go to actually see it in the path of totality, or whether I just work it where I am right now, allowing these energies to work through me, enjoying the process of finding the me in the we and seeing the we as the me all in one. This is what it's about, and this is going to catapult us to the 5D, to the next level, to the next dimension of ourselves. It's only up from here if you allow it, right? But it's moving beyond the fear. So the main thing I want us to see is not letting these fear mongering get to us and move beyond it. Again, pay attention. Do not, if you watch, I don't like to tell people what to do or not to do, but my best advice is to not watch the news, or watch it as least as possible, right? Because what they're doing is they're sending these messages out. And remember, there's certain words that they know how to use, and people hear what they want to hear, and they know the key words that people will hear, and they're throwing those words out there with the fear mongering. So watch it as minimum. Remember, news is media. The goddess Medea, illusion, which means illusion. So be mindful of what they're throwing out. And when I mean they're throwing out words, they could say something like, they're telling you in the news, hey, due to solar eclipse, there's going to be an influx of people here in the small towns, and we're going to have to deploy the National Guards, and we're going to have to close down the schools, and we're going to have to turn up security in the prisons. And they're going to say all these things, and these key words is what grabs people, because they hear those. Even though they heard everything else, there's certain things that just stick. So what it sounds like, and this is why the fear mongering comes up, is for some people, they won't hear that other stuff of, oh, due to this, and that. It's like they hear it, but not really. And then what sticks with them is like they hear blah, blah, blah. They hear solar eclipse, blah, blah, blah. Deploy National Guards, blah, blah, blah. Closing down all schools, blah, blah, blah. Turning up the prison security, so they hear all of this, and it sounds like, oh my gosh, what's going on? People's panic buttons start getting hit. Did you hear they're deploying this? And then we be careful how we pass on information. We pass it to the next one and the next one. Did you hear this? Did you hear that? Oh, I'm just going to stay home. And then you stay home and you're in fear, shaking in your boots, and you're not even thinking, wait a minute, I need to work on me. This is about me. They have people so much in a fear mongering state that you don't even look at this as a beautiful cosmic event that allows your cosmic mind and body to do the intrinsic dance with these energies in this grand energetic exchange for you to get what you need to catapult you forward. So ask yourself, if you feel in fear, what is it that I fear? What is it that I have not handled? What is it that I have not dealt with? Because I guarantee you those are the ones that are going to be getting blocked up in the energetic field. It's going to be hard for you. It shows you if you have that fear, I'm telling you right now, those in the fear are the ones that are going to be feeling these energies the most in an uncomfortable way. And because they're things you haven't dealt with in your own personal growth, your own personal light. Some things have come up and you've been neglecting to deal with it. So you're riddled with fear. There's fear on top of fear, and then you're doubling down into the abyss of fear. So I invite us to come up for some air, take a deep breath, and go into your soul. Unlock your 7 seals and enter into your soul's domain, your soul's consciousness. Get in there and work through, sift out, pull out, transmute, to transcend, to transform, to transmit love one unto another. The only way out is in and in love, sharing love, being love, spreading love, knowing that there is only love that lights the truth, that will change your perception, and you will see things, you will move beyond the dangers, and you will see that there is no fear, right? So if you feel that fear is near and here and dear to you, then there's something that needs to be shifted in the soul so you can free your mind, free your soul, be sovereign in your spirit, in your spiritus, in your spirituality, right? And it's I'm laughing because it's funny to me. Like, who is scared of the eclipse? Who sent out the memo that it's the end of the world? But it may feel like the end of the world for some narcissists. It is the end because you getting shook up and people around you getting shook up and waking up, so they no longer are ready to be your dummies. Like, is that fearful for you? I feel like the undertone energy of it, like you're scared because low key, you a narcissist. You know, that's the only way I'm saying you scared because you got some unhealed wounds and some demons that you didn't work through. Because those who work through their stuff, we like, come on, bring it. You know, I'm ready for my return. Like, this karma don't scare me. Because I've been sowing good seeds. And so it leaves you, if you've done the right things, you're in a good position with this new moon to sow more seeds of love. You're sowing good seeds to move forward, right? But if you haven't done the work, your seeds are falling in bad soil. It's already growing in bad soil if it's in fear. So get in that garden, in your soul, in your mind, and work through it. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. So get it out of here. So with that said, please enjoy this total, total solar eclipse, new moon in Aries, coming to you soon at a theater near you, wherever your cinema is. It's your life, world, and affairs. Okay, you write the movie script. You are the co-creator. So create something grand. With that said, love you all. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in that big, beautiful heart as always. Shine that light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. Do not blow people's candles out. Light it up. With that said, peace, love, and light. Enjoy that moonlight.